This is Real and Raw.
Hey guys! Karibuni sana to Real and Raw. Ebu wasalimieni please.
Hi.
Yes guys, you know the girls is who are usually here. Esther just joined us for
I'm
the
a
last
guest, but I'm
episode.
usually here.
Yeah.
I'll be here now.
Yeah, she's no longer a guest, so what a cool guest. But thank you so much for joining us. Unajua the usual Grace, Michelle, Jess is not here, but ako with us in spirit.
And the boss lady herself. Stage.
Akio, unajua kile mtoto anaita stage.
Stage.
No.
Hello.
Oh my god. We're talking about it's okay to be me. Yeah, and this is mainly on identity.
Yeah.
And I was sharing with these girls even before we started. Baka ninja kaniambia wewe wacha tu record points zitaisha.
Yeah.
Is that this one has really, it has gone me very close to my heart, because when I've looked through my life, I've seen that there are so many places where I did not believe in myself. Right. You know, when we've talked about like identity before, and we've talked about social media, but this time we're taking it from a different perspective. And this is the perspective of me, of us, like as a person, me, myself, and I. Wewe ni nani? Unajijua.
Oh,
you know.
J.
Yeah. So I looked at myself and I was like, from when I was like a kid, I remember I was very like bright-eyed about everything. Like even like I talk about even the ideas that I want to do, all of the, even though they were ridiculous, I would talk about them with such confidence.
Right.
But somewhere down the line, that confidence, it disappeared.
Why?
I don't know whether if it's fear or, you know, the world telling you, you can't dream like that, what's wrong with you? That's not, it doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
It can't happen to you, and you begin to adjust to the mold that the world has set for you.
That's very
you know? So like today, we want to break that mold.
Yeah. Do you think that you stopped believing in your dreams because they were sort of too big, or because of you being the person behind the dream? Like,
I get
you not being able to fulfill it. Back to identity.
Yeah, I think for me it was both. First, I know like they've always been bigger than me, like always been bigger than me. But the other thing is that I saw that I wasn't confident in myself. That I got to a place, I don't even know how that happened. Yes, that I was not good enough to actually carry out these dreams, or I was not worth carrying those dreams. So I didn't believe in myself. So I was like, there's no point of even thinking about it. Probably even God himself doesn't believe in me.
What?
Because I didn't believe in myself.
Wait.
If you don't believe that God has put himself inside you, you know, he says that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The thing is that God has poured out his spirit in us.
Yeah.
But now the thing is that when he tells you to do something, and yet you're not confident in what he has put in you, you end up being a roadblock for yourself.
True.
And for me, that's what I saw. I was just like, by the way here I was just like, apa sikujiamini at all. Na sisemi ati ile kujiamini ati I'm proud, I can do everything by myself.
Right.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being in the place where you understand that God has poured himself into you, and he can, and there's a reason he's given you the gifts that you have. Ajakupatia tu ndio ati, you know, there's also that fake humility of, you know me, I don't want anything for myself, I don't want a lie.
I want everything for myself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that fake humility, but what I'm talking about is understanding that God has given you a purpose, an assignment, and that the gifts and the talents, the dreams, the ideas that he's given you, akukupatia tu just for the heck, you know, he gave you for a reason so that you can be able to be an impact.
Yeah.
And now the thing is that it comes back to you. Do you actually believe that God can use you?
That's a good question.
That's a question. What kind of picture has the world painted for you when it came to who you are as a person? It told me, like, you live in fear. That's the kind of world, that's the kind of picture that was painted for me.
I feel like it's that for almost everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and I feel like like for example, you see how you are so sure, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to embrace uncertainty. Because that gives room for growth. It gives room for a lot of things. When you're so certain about one thing, like, oh, there's no room.
Yeah.
There's no room to be better. There's no, because you're like, yeah, this is it. But when you allow that, by the
Missy Jui.
there's so
I'm
much
just
power
trusting.
in that.
Yeah.
When you just accept that, I don't know.
Sijui bad.
I don't know. Even sometimes, you can even ask like a 40-year-old, what do you want to accomplish?
And they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've put so much pressure on ourselves because you're 19, you're freaking out because you don't know what you want.
Poor child.
So uncertainty, embracing that uncertainty is very important.
I know
Because I feel like I was so certain. Hey, I'm so certain by 25. I knew life no one would have told me otherwise.
Yeah.
But now here I am looking back, I'm like
Not even looking back, unaangalia miaka zinasoga na wewe hausogi uko tu hapo. Wacha nikwambie, hakuna kitu baya kama umejiandikia marry by 25 and be married with 2 children and a happy family and nitakuwa graduate. Oh my goodness, hello, tunaingia that from bado tuko kwanza bwana ako afya. Tuanze hapo. Washa watoto. Watoto Mungu ni wewe utaleta. Leta kwanza Mungu. And then you're thinking, oh, I'd be done with school. Wengine wanamaliza ukiwa 34 and then
even the people in their 50s still in school, you know? It's never too late to start.
For me, I think it was a bit different in that, so I grew up knowing I can do anything. Like my dad was one of those people who genuinely was like, as in cheerleader. He was a cheerleader, but he was almost like, because he would get so frustrated with why are you thinking so small.
Right.
Like why you think bigger.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't a thing of the world, because for me, girls and their dads.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, my dad said I can do this.
So I can do it.
I'm gonna do it, and you forget about my heavenly father. My earthly father already put a stamp
on it. Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't necessarily what the world said. For me, it was a struggle of self. Me, I've always had. It's me who now tells myself that I can't do it. You can tell me. Me, I'll just come and tell myself. You can't do it. As in, I usually even tell my friends. Sometimes I used to do the enemy's work for me. Like, he didn't have articles. She'll just my own mind. Your own mind was a gift, but it was also a double-edged sword. It was almost I would always speak to myself and tell myself I can't do this. I'm not enough. I'm not this. And then the other thing is, once I tell myself that, then I would compare. Right.
Whoa.
So I would have comparison.
Yeah.
And I would compare and be like, I'd even go and look for those people who've not. Like, it's not to look for reasons as to why it can't work, just to rubber stamp my case. That's exactly. So for me, it was not necessarily about what the world told me. It was more of what I was telling myself, what I believed in myself, who I believed, the voices I was listening to, and then going back and comparing, and it all comes back to identity.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Let me tell you, so for me, I feel like I don't know how to call it, because I don't know if that's my identity.
Yeah.
I feel like over time, it was now my identity, but over time realizing it has always been a defense mechanism.
Right.
Right. So growing up, I used to be so tiny. Well, msiniambia hapa nimenona ulisikia
Be tiny.
in some people's eyes. Size yake. So I was so tiny, so I'd really get bullied. So when I went to high school, I actually changed my high school. I don't want to mention.
Yeah.
So the first high school I went, they bullied me because I was so tiny, and I only used to know how to speak English because the private schools that our parents took us to, they were only speaking English. Not saying there was no Kiswahili, but now.
Yeah.
So I was bullied from the time I was assigned school mother. I hope she's watching.
Yes.
I asked, can I use the lavatories? She's like, hiyo ni nini? Whoa. Peo, public schools in Nairobi. Jesus, Kareo a lot. She went and called the whole school.
Oh no.
Kujani wanaude wanaitisha sijui lava. Hebu muulize anasema nini?
Okay.
From that day, it was the end of me. Nilikuwa naitwa, my name was lavatory. Some of them didn't even know my name.
Oh no.
And then they made sure my first duty was in a lavatory. Kwanza zile zimeblock zenye haziendagi.
Sasa, let me just ask you, for maybe the viewers who are watching, what is a lavatory?
Oh, chop. It's a loop.
Just
That's so bad.
but
so ever since that day, now, because I was bullied, I really cried. By the time third time inafika, everyone is living with a backpack. I left with my box and everything. And I went to cry to my dad because I knew my mom. Where mom? Anyway, mama ameniambia umeenda shule kusoma ama umeenda kusikiza watu. So my dad was like, unasumbuliwa.
But that's a really good point though. Like, because you were, in that she showed you what was your purpose.
To
Was
really
it to listen to other people or to do whatever it is that you're setting your mind
I
to?
understand, but that is her perspective because she's grown beyond what I'm saying.
Right.
That's
At
the
that time,
it
that's
was
like
like,
you can't even say
It was the end of
it
the
was
world.
the end of the world.
Yeah.
First, even performance was just so bad because I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
We can be in the dorm, mtu anapita anasema, sasa lavatory.
Oh man.
Ni kusafi uko hapa? As in, it was so bad. And I used to hate it. I used to cry.
Oh no.
So now, when I went to the new school, I made sure that no one will not bully me and they won't know that I was that small, timid. I had the same thing. So when I went to the new school, I went like this. What's up? Nini? Yo. I went in tough. Unanisho nini? Excuse me, don't you ever talk to me like that. I was that girl.
Yeah.
And then it became my personality. Instead of it's not my identity, it became an acquired personality. Because I had, acquired. Because I had to fight my way not to be bullied. Before you realize,
Umekuwa huyo mtu.
I didn't know I could be a hype master. I became a hype master. Then I became a prefect for entertainment. And then I became the queen of funky omchochi.
The same girl who was
The
being bullied.
same girl who didn't know anything.
But let me ask you a question. Did you ever deal?
Did I deal with it? No, I dealt with it after. It's a journey. It's a journey. Because there's someone who told me, Henny Grace, if someone comes and just sees you right now the way you are, I'm usually very quiet. I love my space.
Yes.
I love my kakona. I love my kabook. I love the two small things. But when I'm around people,
you're completely different.
I'm completely different.
Wow.
And I think that started from way back.
Yes.
But I didn't, you see, and then the problem
connect.
is we didn't have people to start the guidance back then.
Right.
So unapata nikirudi home naambiwa umebadilika. I'm like, what?
Lakini umebadilika for real.
It's just that I feel like this is me.
Yeah, that's who I am.
As in I'm just, and then I would always defend myself and say, I've just grown, I'm growing, like, kumbe, I'm not growing, I'm just guarding myself from being hurt by people. And that's so unfortunate because utapata, unfortunately, let me just say it because this hurts me because I've seen people and maybe I might be also had been a victim or some of you. Unaweza pata sometimes, especially in relationships, you might be in a very violent relationship and then because you're always defending yourself, you become very rough and rogue. So when you step out of
that
it,
relationship,
when you go to another one, you're rough and rogue and that's not you.
Wow.
That is not you.
Because you were always used to defending yourself.
So you'd always, even if someone, the other now new relationship or even friendships, when someone wants to mean well to you, you'll always go like, hold up, don't, you know? And that's not you. And that is so sad because it's like also small kids, parents, please. Usikwe mtoto akifanya kitu siseme wewe ni mjinga sana, wewe ni ng'ombe. this kid will grow up knowing yeye ni ng'ombe, yeye ni mjinga. As in, no.
Yeah.
Like it's about that time, because we grow up and then these things start affecting us. By the time we are discovering ourselves, we are already broken.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from you is that our upbringing or experiences can affect our identity.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
And let's not call it identity. Let's say acquired personalities, because that's not us. Because we are yet to still find our own identity.
Yes.
And this is where we will now scale back now to God, help me, find me.
Right. Find me the way you see me. Right.
Not what I have put out for people.
And not because of my fears.
Past experience.
I feel like for me, for the longest time,
Yeah.
I've always been Stella's sister.
Oh, you've always
That was
been
my
the shadow
yeah.
for
You were
Stella.
That was who I am. I was always
like
Stella's sister.
She was Stella's shadow.
Okay.
Yeah, so no one knew me for me. They knew me
Right.
as
Stella's
Stella's sister. So there was always that thing of, si Stella does this, why are you not doing it? You know?
How come you don't sing?
So I
How come
actually
you don't?
had an acquired personality based
Through
on
this one.
my sister. Because
Right.
that's who I've always been since primary, because we went to the same school. So since pre-unit even, I've always been Stella's sister. The only place that I wasn't Stella's sister was now when I joined high school, at least.
Because no one knows her.
Yeah. But then still, church. We
Those
have
are
the same friends. Like,
yeah.
I don't think there's anything that I had back then that wasn't based on Stella.
Right.
So for the longest time, I didn't know who Michelle is outside
Thank you
of
for
being
saying that
Stella's
word. Say
sister.
that word. Your name.
Michelle. Yes.
People call her Minji, and guess it came from who? Stella. So people.
I hated that name
But
actually to
that
begin with.
really makes. You see, she actually hates the name.
No, I don't hate it now, but I hated it at that point
Oh, that
because
point.
I felt like, what's a minji, you know?
Yeah.
So I accepted it because people are making fun of me. Like,
Kaminji.
so me, I accepted it to be like, mini minji utadu, you know? So it stuck, and I became minji.
Yeah.
Thanks to Stella.
Thanks
You know,
to
this
Stella.
is very interesting that we are siblings.
And she
yet
didn't know.
there are deep things that even I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how, like, for you to get to a place where you are comfortable with yourself and you know yourself,
Yeah.
it's a journey.
Yeah,
And
yes.
it doesn't mean that just because that you're siblings or even you're married that your person really knows.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but she knows herself now.
Yeah, now I know
she lives
myself.
separate, and I think for me, which is so weird, I think I sort of started throwing. Okay, in my head when you said that, I now think of it. I'm like, I started throwing a tantrum because I was so used to her. Like we were doing similar things, you know.
Right.
It was always me and her.
Yeah,
and then
and
she started separating herself from me.
And then you don't
like,
understand.
like, why?
Why you?
Why are you doing your own things? Why can't you do them together?
And that's a
And I
good
didn't
point.
understand why.
Yeah, and that's
Now
a good
you know,
point.
closure.
Because sometimes you lose friends and people
Right.
simply because you don't. Some friendships are based on some sort of brokenness or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Or not knowing
Last
each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or not knowing who, like, you know, like we can all be friends because we all don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now when I start knowing myself and I start breaking away,
Yeah.
it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you then become
Hey.
like,
Hey.
you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a really good point.
Hey.
Wow. I
And
like
then-
that. And friend, you said what has
Misery
Misery
loves
loves
company.
Misery loves. You need to know the friends.
You
in
know,
your
if
life.
you're all broken, as
you can all
you can't get
party
your-
yourself.
You all have that
You
commonality.
want to have your thingy together. One
Yeah.
in your sorrows together.
Yeah.
As in it's a thing for
Yeah.
I'm not alone. At wengi.
Mob psychology.
Sawa.
Yeah.
As in
And then you're even encouraged to continue that cycle,
That
of not knowing yourself because you're comfortable
Where you are.
with,
Yeah.
you know, like
The
this
mind.
is your safe space.
Thank you.
It's safe for me not to know myself. And you could have easily stayed in that space
Right.
Yeah.
of saying, fine, I'm going to be a singer. I'm also going to, because that is who, you know, that's the popular thing.
Yeah.
Or that's,
I got comfortable.
Yeah.
So it was so uncomfortable for me to actually decide to, I need to find
Find
myself.
myself.
Yeah.
And there's this, it's called the law of avoidance.
Wow.
you will avoid that thing that makes you uncomfortable, and that thing that makes you uncomfortable is what will make you grow.
That's
If you
very
avoid
true.
it,
Yeah.
you won't grow. Utabaki tu hapo. 10
10
for
years.
example, when we used to live, let's say in Otiende,
Yeah.
Upata, the kiosk that was there
Whoa.
30 years ago is
Still there.
Yeah.
Now.
And you're wondering, as in, there's
I'm
not
not
been
about
any
that.
growth.
Yeah.
It's because of comfortability. Umekuwa comfortable kabisa, decide, me don't need
Me
more.
niko safe. Me, I'm even thinking, like when Miji said her story, I'm here thinking, so like we said earlier, so Stella and I have been friends for a really long time.
Oh, it's Stella.
And yeah, it's Stella. Stella is the boss lady. And like as in when I met her when I was really young. We were both young. We were friends for like maybe 17 years or 18 years.
Right.
And for some reason we just connected just like that.
It's the cult.
You know.
So
Yes, go on.
I mean, so I met Stella when, and I come from a home where I didn't have a sister.
Yeah.
So we met in church, and we met in a choir. We were both singing. Like, this is someone who, as in, I think, because I was in a choir of like babas, like 30-year-olds. Like I was like, hey, finally,
You were the youngest.
Yeah.
I was the youngest.
Yeah.
And so we did everything
Together.
Yeah,
And
it was,
prayed together,
Yeah.
like a sister.
Yeah.
So I mean, prayed together, dreamt together.
Yeah.
As in, we literally did everything
together. Yeah.
Like, as in, I would know Stella wants to get married to this kind of a person. These
Yeah.
are the names she's going to give her children.
Yeah.
That's how, as in, for me, it was us against as in,
Everyone.
the world. Like, there's nothing you're telling me.
Yeah.
So I remember I was so mad at her because she left church and she didn't tell me.
No, not until I left the church.
No, she left the particular church.
Yes, yes.
Hey, Mama Kanisa, itabidi.
Pastor Stella.
Please.
Yes.
So
Pastor
she
Stella.
left, and for me, her leaving church meant that, as in, we couldn't do a lot of the things that we're doing together.
Yeah.
Like Isha.
Zimeisha, like Ivo, and I was just like,
You
as
couldn't
in,
even understand.
I couldn't understand because my identity and everything was wrapped around Stella and us together. So as much as yes, we found ourselves singing together,
Yeah.
as in, my mind was for, if I need to do something, I need to have it approved via her.
Oh.
Or not that she demanded
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but that's how like
Yeah,
friends
that's how
like
we,
that.
yeah.
And so when she left, I remember I was so mad because I was like, now
We
I-
dem and aniacha.
and then she left me at least, and I was like, now an adult, not a teenager.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine
Yeah.
all my life, and those are the formative years.
Yeah.
I had to now have to understand, okay, so who's Esther? Because like Minji was saying, as much as, yes, she's known as Stella's sister, when Minji was not there, for example, if Stella was not there, she'd be always Stella.
Yeah.
Whenever you see Stella,
Yeah.
you just see Minji.
Yeah.
You, like, I was always somewhere there.
Yes.
So I had to understand, okay, so who am I?
Yeah.
Right. What do I like? Do I even like singing?
Whoa.
Do I even like I had to go back and understand.
Whoa.
Like, yes, we've dreamt
That's
together.
so crazy. Oh my god.
Yes, we've dreamt together as Stella and Esther. But were we dreaming together because it was functional at that time as friends?
Yeah.
Or was I dreaming with you because it was genuinely in my heart?
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to understand,
Damn.
okay, who am I?
Hey, Jesus.
It was, hey, thank
But
you
you guys
for
for
that
opening,
session.
for
She's
opening
opened the
that
candle. I
one,
was like,
yeah.
I want to think of it.
Umefanya hata umetoa
Guys,
macho
imagine I
mbali.
didn't know. But you see, the thing is that, which I think is so crazy, is that this Stella that they're really talking about,
Is this one?
who seems larger, the
Yeah.
life is always there,
Is this one?
and like Grace said it,
Yeah.
I know I've said like so many times, oh, you know me, I'm extra nini. That's not 100% of who I am as a
Yeah.
person. And the thing is that it's something that, just like she
I
had
know.
said, it's almost like a personality that I acquired for myself, because I also went through a lot of bullying when I was in primary school. Yeah, and I was always the chick who did not have any friends, and I longed.
No way.
Yes, I longed
Wait,
to
so
have friends.
how
Yeah.
did you
Okay,
go
but I
to
can
Kareo?
I can see how that is, because if you
But
say
Like when
how
I
are
was
you-
in primary.
So how did you make it?
if you saw Stella then with her glasses and she wasn't like
This is a new Stella, guys.
Yeah,
Wait,
guys.
Oh,
Stella,
this is
the
what I'm
Lord.
looking like.
The Lord!
ooh, this is God.
I can't even put a picture because, hey, Jesus Christ.
So it was bad.
Yeah.
Remember ulikuwa na craving?
But like during, and is when I was in class 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I was really young. Yeah, so even I hadn't even joined like House of Grace even then.
Yeah.
Baby,
So-
you used to sit alone.
Yeah, I used to sit alone, and like, you know, kids would like pick on me, and I used to be like the loser. Like I had like, I think I had an L on my head like the whole time.
That's a double L.
Yeah, so the thing I was like, you know, probably people don't want to be around me. It's because I'm keeping to myself, so I need to be larger than life. I need to be loud.
Right.
I need to like
You need
like
to be the
anytime
life
I
of
go
the party.
somewhere, yeah, people need to know Stella is there.
Yeah.
So that
And
is
for sure.
and for sure people need to know. Anytime I was somewhere, I was always loud.
Hashtag
I was
bustling.
always the one who was talking the most. But the thing is that I came to realize is that even now afterwards, the cracks started showing.
Right.
The
That
little
is not
kid
you.
that I never dealt with
Yeah.
It's coming out.
is coming out, and I'm like,
Right.
what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, Jesus, yani unaleta hii kitu nikikuwa hivi mzee. Oh my God! You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying this is so close to my heart because it's something that I'm going through right now.
Right.
You know? So I'm like, God had to take me back. And
Yeah.
the reason he was saying is, the reason why I'm taking you back is because you need to deal with all these things.
Yeah.
Because this also stems, your faith is also coming from all these leaks
Yes.
that you have.
Yeah.
You know, the perspective that you have of who I am in your life is a bit skewed because of the way you see yourself. Because sometimes even you won't even believe in what I'm telling you because you don't think you're worth it. You're still thinking of like that kid who was in
Stella class 3.
Yeah, Stella
Yeah.
class 3, guys. Jesus,
Yo.
and how old I am.
That was.
Thank you. Usiseme. But I'm old, guys.
I
Okay,
want
I'm
to
not that
know.
old, but hey, you know. But let me finish. So, I want to. That's why I really wanted us to talk about this because
Yeah.
I think people are still their 14, 12-year-old selves, and they are 40, 50
Yeah.
plus something,
So true.
and they're still dealing with those things that, you know, they've put it in a box, and then buried it so deep in their subconscious that they think they have forgotten about it until the cracks start to show. And
Yeah.
you'll never know when those cracks will start to show. They can start when you're in your 30s, in your 40s,
Marriage.
50s, 60s. You never know when they start to
You
show
even start when you start projecting those insecurities to
on children. Exactly.
Ah.
And you know the thing
My
is-
goodness.
As in, when you even think about how a building is set up,
Yeah.
the foundation is the most
Important.
important.
Right.
So when you already have those cracks in your hair, like Stella said, like hidden so many things, the heart
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you're here trying to build up and gloss up on something.
Whoa.
Right now we're in this house, it looks perfect.
But you don't know.
But we don't know
Yeah.
the process of what was taken, chini. And there's a time where, you know, in Kenya, those buildings that would collapse.
Yes.
It's not a matter of if it will collapse, it's a matter of when.
Whoa.
When it happens,
Yeah.
you just, you know, like for you now, it's happening now. For someone else, it can happen sooner or much later.
Right.
So it's always like, as in, it's just important. It's a good reminder even for me, like to even just go back and think, wow.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, like
yeah.
even this whole example of the both of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I had always, like for me, I'd always thought about, hey, manze, anyway, that time it was really painful.
Yeah.
Because I think I didn't even talk to Stella for like a year.
Yeah.
or
That's
two.
true.
I didn't talk to her because I was like, I need to first of
mad.
all
Yeah.
understand
And
Why
what
it
just happened?
what just happened.
Yeah.
But later on is when I realized I was like, anyway, maybe it was for good.
Yeah.
But it's always a good point for us to just always just think about, you know, sometimes you can project in the moment
Yeah.
and then you're like, I'm in a anger issues and it's okay. No, come.
Whoa.
Why do you have anger issues? You know,
Yes.
or I don't think I can, you know, just things that we say,
Yeah.
like just as cover-ups or blindly. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it. Why don't you think you can do it?
Let me tell you, babes, what you're saying in a nutshell is all these things that you're calling now the cracks, they actually mask our insecurities.
Right.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
You had to be boom because you didn't want people to see you as like a sweet Stella.
Was it
Even you.
Even me, even me.
Like what
Even me. I had to come out, because I don't want them to know, like, you can actually get to me. Me, I'm those
Yeah.
people who can really get to me by words.
Yeah.
I'll just jifanya there like it is what it is, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I go,
yeah.
girl, that thing is just
Yeah.
And then you see now, and then here's the problem. People don't know how to deal with me. They think, strong, yeah. But now kufa, man. So people don't know how to deal with me.
But you see, it's not that they don't know how to deal
it's
with you.
because of the
They're
mask.
dealing with the mask.
Yeah,
right.
They're not dealing with
They're not dealing with you.
you.
So they know how to deal with your mask.
Exactly.
But they don't know how to deal with you.
And now that brings up now covering up because you've put this mask.
Yeah.
Like the lining for the mask is our insecurity because we cannot peel it. We cannot separate the mask from the insecurity.
It's one thing.
It's
Yeah.
one thing.
It's a package deal.
We are the sum total
Yo, let me
of
just
who
tell
we
you.
are and what
That
we
was,
stand for.
yeah. That just
Yeah.
it.
Sasa, what do we stand for? If we stand for nothing.
Well, for anything.
Yes.
But
So
also,
those values, especially
Yeah.
because I feel like that's the foundation of our insecurities. If you don't feel beautiful enough, how do you measure beauty? You know,
Yeah.
what is the metric you use to measure?
What's
What
your
is the
measure?
standard?
Yeah.
Because, for example, if me I think Grace is beautiful,
Thank
that's
you.
That's
That's
the
your standard.
Standard.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm less.
I'm
than.
less
So
beautiful.
if it
Yeah.
goes
Ah.
down to that, you need to like have a sit down with yourself and be like, how am I measuring
Love on
these
you.
things?
Yeah.
How am I measuring being loved?
yeah.
Because you see fear of rejection, all these things.
Yeah.
Like we struggle, but we don't really understand where
Yeah.
they're coming from. So
Yeah.
I feel like once we really become honest,
Yeah.
100% honest with ourselves, that's when we will start realizing these
Right.
things. Because the first step is realization.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what is wrong, you can't fix it.
You can't fix it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ish,
Yeah. And God's word has to be our standard.
Ah,
Actually,
That's
that's the next thing.
Yeah.
That's where it boils down to. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like even as I was doing some devotional for the relentless culture, I was shameless plug.
Yeah, man.
I was just thinking about it, and for me, you know, I was like, God's word has to be our standard. The truth is not. The truth is the one that can set you free.
Right.
God's word said, "It's the truth that will set you free." It's
right.
not public opinion.
Thank you.
It's not the culture.
Shelter.
You know,
Shelter.
it's not, oh, my friend says this or
Yeah.
this is fine. Society may have said, let's go for melanin or not melanin.
Yeah.
That's not our standard.
Right.
Yeah.
Our standard always has to be rooted. Our standard or our measure or what we're using,
Yeah.
where we're deriving our values from, always has to go back to the word of God. Because if it doesn't go back to the word of God, then all other ground is sinking sand, man.
It
It's
is.
always shifting.
Yes.
It's always
yes.
like the goalpost
This
is
is-
always changing.
Yeah, this will be hip tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kesho.
The next time it is going to be this other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, the time it falls.
Hey,
It will be so bad. And you don't know itakupatia wapi.
you know, if it falls, unfortunately, it's not just going to impact you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Other
other
people.
people.
Yeah.
So like for you, it's maybe your husband and
yeah.
maybe future children,
Yeah.
your parents.
Yeah.
Like there's that whole mess.
Yeah.
There's like, so man.
You know this statement before you finish, it's a statement.
Yeah.
Someone goes like, unakumbuka Johnny? It's an example. Unakumbuka Johnny? And then you go like,
Yeah.
amechange. Hakukwanga hivyo. Kwani what happened to him? This is maybe someone who's just realized himself.
Yeah.
So ameacha old ways. So people will never remember you for the new you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
People
yeah,
will
yeah.
always go like,
Lakini utajua huyo
Si
nani.
unajua vile
All
habits zitarudi tena.
Namtaa ngapi? Shika na 2 months.
So aliacha kunywa ati aliacha.
Atarudi tu.
Moral of my story for saying that is, can we try and support someone who wants good change? Because that good change will trickle down to you and it will affect you even to being better than the way you were when that person was just mad.
Yeah, but also if you don't have people supporting you, don't be
Get out.
afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to just go on your own path.
Right.
Yeah,
God.
like just you have God with you, and that's more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, what I'd say that God is leading me, especially now during this time after I've been like, oh my gosh, I need to deal with like I need to let God in so he can deal, because I can't deal with it myself. You can never deal with it yourself. It'll overwhelm you and break you all over again. You know what I mean? So I need to, is giving God room for him to be able to go to that space and allowing him. Because you know that door has been shut, like for a long time, you know, but allowing him to be your redeemer even during that time, and allowing that that those wounds, even though they are painful, for them to be exposed to the light of Jesus Christ. That's one. And then the other thing is that just because it's your past, that doesn't mean that there's no reaction from that past. You know, somebody says, it happened, it went. Yes, it happened, it went, but if you haven't dealt with it, imagine it's still with you. You'll just be dragging it with you for the rest of your life if you haven't dealt with it. So for me, it's just surrendering. First, you find out, okay, what is that thing that caught you up during that time, and then surrendering it to God. And then actually Grace said it, is that being genuine with yourself. When you're genuine with yourself, you're able to allow other people to be genuine with themselves. I've just thought, for example, if I let you be who you are, if I knew that that was what was happening, that you felt that you were under my shadow, if I knew, I probably would have responded in a different way to let you have your own space. But because I also was dealing with my own things, I could see. I was just here trying to live my best fake life. You know, I was going to say burst. Burst life. You know what I mean? So I couldn't see that even you would be in pain just for me, like cutting you off. I probably would have done it in a better way. But even for me, I was still dealing with my own things. So I think if I pray, and this is my prayer for even you guys who are watching, that whatever you're going through right now, like Esther said, it's not just you, itaangukia kila mtu. It affects everyone. So just make sure that as you're genuine with yourself, you're able to be genuine with other people, and you're also able to be sensitive to the situations they are going through. Usikuwe stumbling block kwa wase wengine. So me, that's what God is teaching me. Surrender, you know, giving everything to him, and just being very aware of that he's God then, and he's God now, and he's God forever.
Absolutely.
So anyway, guys, I don't think any of our episodes we've ever finished so subtle like this. I think that needs a sign.
So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure to put a comment below, and if you're new, please subscribe and be part of our conversation. We love you guys. This is Real and Raw. Bye.
Bye.